Oh, that this too solid flesh would melt, thaw, and resolve itself into a dew. Or that the everlasting had not fixed his cannon against self-slaughter. Oh God, God! How weary, stale, flat, and unprofitable seems to me all the uses of this world. Fie on it! Ah, fie! 'Tis an unweeded garden that grows to seed. Things rank and gross in nature possess it merely that it should come to this. But 2 months dead, nay, not so much, not 2, so excellent a king, that was to this Hyperion to a soter, so loving to my mother that he might not beteem the winds of heaven visit her face too roughly. Heaven and earth! Oh, must I remember? Why, she would hang on him, as if increase of appetite had grown by what it fed on. And yet, within a month, oh, let me not think on it. Frailty, thy name is woman! A little month, or ere those shoes were old, with which she followed my poor father's body. Like Niobe, all tears, why she, even she, oh God! A beast that once discourse of reason would have mourned longer, married my uncle, my father's brother, but no more like my father than I to Hercules. Within a month, ere yet the salt of most unrighteous tears had left the flushing in her galled eyes, she married, oh most wicked speed, to post with such dexterity to most incestuous sheets. It is not, nor cannot come to good, but break my heart, for I must hold my tongue. Oh, all you host of heaven, O earth! What else? And shall I couple hell? O fie! Hold my heart. And you, my sinews, grow not instant old, but bear me stiffly up. Remember thee! I, thou poor ghost, while memory holds a seat in this distracted globe, remember thee. Yea, from the table of my memory I'll wipe away all trivial fond records, all saws of books, all forms, all precious past that youth and observation copied there. And thy commandment all alone shall live within the book and volume of my brain. Unmixed with baser matter, yes, by heaven, O most pernicious woman! O villain, smiling, damn villain! My tables, meet it is, I set it down that one may smile and be a villain. At least, I'm sure it may be so in Denmark.
And then it started, like a guilty thing upon a fearful summons. I have heard the cock, that is the trumpet to the morn, doth with his lofty and shrill-sounding throat awake the god of day, and at his warning, whether in sea or fire, in earth or air, the extravagant and erring spirit hies to his confine. And of the truth herein, this present object made probation. So have I heard, and do in part believe it. But look, the morn, in russet mantle clad, walks over the dew of yon high eastward hill. Break we our watch up, and by my advice let us impart what we have seen tonight unto young Hamlet. For, upon my life, the spirit, dumb to us, will speak to him. Do you consent we shall acquaint him with it, as needful in our loves fitting our duty? Let's do it, I pray, and I this morning know where we shall find him most conveniently. 2 nights together had these gentlemen, Marcellus and Bernardo, on their watch in the dead vast and middle of the night, been thus encountered. A figure like Hamlet's father, armed at point exactly, cap a pay, appears before them with some solemn march, goes slow and stately by them. Thrice he walked by their oppressed and fear-surprised eyes within his truncheon's length, whilst they distilled almost to jelly with the act of fear. Stand dumb and speak not to him. This to me in dreadful secrecy impart they did, and I, with them the 3rd night kept the watch, whereas they had delivered, both in time, form of the thing, each word made true and good. The apparition comes. I knew Hamlet's father. These hands are not more like.
Now I am alone. Oh, what a rogue and peasant slave am I. Is it not monstrous that this player here, but in a fiction, in a dream of passion, could force his soul, so as his own conceit, that from her working all his visage won? Tears in his eyes, distraction in his aspect. A broken voice, and his whole function suiting, with forms to his conceit, and all for nothing, for Hecuba. What's Hecuba to him, or he to Hecuba, that he should weep for her? What would he do? Had he the motive and the cue for passion that I have? He would drown the stage with tears, and cleave the general ear with horrid speech, make mad the guilty, and appall the free. Confound the ignorant, and amaze indeed the very faculties of eyes and ears. Yet I, a dull and moody middled rascal, peak like John o' Dreams, unpregnant of my cause, and can say nothing. No, not for a king, upon whose property and most dear life a damned defeat was made. Am I a coward? Who calls me villain, breaks my pate across, plucks off my beard and blows it in my face, tweaks me by the nose, gives me the lie in the throat, as deep as to lungs? What does me this? Ha! Swounds! I should take it, for it cannot be. But I am pigeon-livered and lack gall, to make oppression bitter or ear. This I should have fatted all the region kites with this slave's awful, bloody body villain, remorseless, treacherous, lecherous, kindless villain. Oh, vengeance! Why, what an ass am I! This is most brave that I, the son of a dear father murdered, prompted to my revenge by heaven and hell, must, like a whore, unpack my heart with words, and fall a-cursing like a very drab, a scullion, fie upon it, foe! About my brain, I have heard that guilty creatures sitting in a play have, by the very cunning of the scene, being struck so to the soul that presently they have proclaimed their malefactions. For murder, though it have no tongue, will speak with most miraculous organ. I'll have these plays something like the murder of my father before mine uncle. I'll observe his looks. I'll tempt him to the quick. If he but blench, I'll know my course. The spirit that I have seen may be the devil, and the devil hath power to assume a pleasing shape. Yeah, and perhaps out of my weakness and my melancholy, as he is very potent with such spirits, abuses me to damn me. I'll have grounds more relative than this. The play's the thing wherein I'll catch the conscience of the king. Yes, the conscience of the king.
So with my full allegiance, I inquired to my lord, what if it tempt you toward the flood, Hamlet, or to the dreadful summit of the cliff that beetles over his base into the sea, and there assume some other horrible form which might deprive your sovereignty of reason and draw you into madness? Think of it. The very place puts toys of desperation without more motive into every brain that looks so many fathoms to the sea and hears it roar beneath.
To be or not to be? That is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing end them, to die, to sleep no more, and by sleep to say we end the heartache and the thousand natural shocks that flesh is heir to. 'Tis a consummation devoutly to be wished, to die, to sleep perchance to dream. Aye, there's the rub, for in that sleep of death, what dreams may come when we have shuffled off this mortal coil, must give us pause. There's the respect that makes calamity of so long life, for who would bear the whips and scorns of time, the oppressor's wrong, the proud man's contumely, the pangs of despised love, the law's delay, the insolence of office, and the spurns that patient merit of the unworthy takes, when he himself might his quietest make with a bare bodkin? Who would fardels bear, to grunt and sweat under a weary life, but that the dread of something after death, the undiscovered country from whose bourne no traveler returns, puzzles the will and makes us rather bear those ills we have than fly to others that we know not of. Thus, conscience does make cowards of us all. And thus the native hue of resolution is sicklied over with the pale cast of thought. And enterprises of great pitch and movement with this regard their occurrence turn on, and lose the name of action. Soft you now, the fair Ophelia, nymph, in thy orisons be all my sins remembered. 'Tis now the very witching time of night, when churchyards yawn and hell itself breathes out contagion to this world. Now could I drink hot blood and do such bitter business as the day would quake to look on. Soft! Now to my mother. O heart, lose not thy nature. Let not ever the soul of Nero enter this firm bosom. Let me be cruel, not unnatural. I will speak daggers to her, but use none. My tongue and soul in this be hypocrites. How in my words soever she be shed, to give them seals, never my soul consent. Now might I do it, Pat? Now he's praying, and now I'll do it. And so he goes to heaven, and so I am revenged. That would be skedded. A villain kills my father, and for that I, his sole son, do the same villain send to heaven? Oh, this is higher in salary, not revenge. He took my father grossly, full of bread, with all his crimes, broad blown and flush as May. And how his audit stands who knows save heaven. But in our circumstance and course of thought, 'tis heavy with him, and I am then revenged to take him in the purging of his soul when he is fit and seasoned for his passage. No! Up, sword! And know thou a more horrid hint when he is drunk asleep, or in his rage, or in the incestuous pleasure of his bed, at game, a swearing, or about some act that has no relish of salvation in it. Then trip him that his heels may kick at heaven, and that his soul may be as damned and black as hell, whereto it goes. My mother stays this physic, but prolongs thy sickly days.
Horatio, when thou shalt have overlooked this, give these fellows some means to the king. They have letters for him. Ere we were 2 days old at sea, a pirate of very warlike appointment gave us chase. Finding ourselves too slow of sail, we put on a compelled valor, and in the grapple I boarded them. On the instant they got clear of our ship, so I alone became their prisoner. They have dealt with me like thieves of mercy, but they knew what they did. I am to do a good turn for them. Let the king have the letters I have sent, and repair thou to me with as much speed as thou wouldst fly death. I have words to speak in thine ear will make thee dumb, yet are they much too light for the bore of the matter. These good fellows will bring thee where I am. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern hold their course for England. Of them I have much to tell thee. Farewell. He that thou knowest thine, Hamlet. Come, I will make you way for these your letters, and do it the speedier, that you may direct me to him from whom you brought them.
How all occasions do inform against me, and spur my dull revenge. What is a man in his chief good and market of his time, be but to sleep and feed? A beast, no more. Sure, he that made us with such large discourse, looking before and after, gave us not that capability and godlike reason to fuss in us unused. Now, whether it be bestial oblivion or some craven scruple of thinking too precisely on the event, a thought which corded hath but 1 part wisdom, and ever 3 parts coward, I do not know, why yet I live to say this thing's to do. Sith, I have cause, and will, and strength, and means to do it. Examples, gross as earth, exhort me. Witness this army of such mass and charge, led by a delicate and tender prince, whose spirit and divine ambition, puffed, makes mouths at the invisible event, exposing what is mortal and unsure to all that fortune, death, and danger dare. Even for an eggshell, rightly to be great is not to stir without great argument, but greatly to find quarrel in a straw when honor's at the stake. How stand I then, that have a father killed and a mother stained, excitements of my reason and my blood, and let all sleep, while to my shame I see the imminent death of 20,000 men that for a fantasy and trick of fame go to their graves like beds, fight for a plot whereon the numbers cannot try the cause, which is not tomb enough and continent to hide the slain. Oh, from this time forth, my thoughts be bloody or be nothing worth.
Now cracks a noble heart. Good night, sweet prince, and flights of angels sing thee to thy rest. Why does the drum come hither? 'Tis Prince Fortinbras and the English ambassadors. You from the Polar Corps and you from England are here arrived to give order that these bodies high on a stage be placed to the view. And let me speak to the yet unknowing world how these things came about. so shall you hear of carnal, bloody, and unnatural acts, of accidental judgments, casual slaughters, of death put on by cunning and forced cause, and, in this upshot, purposes mistook, fallen on the inventor's reeds. All this can I truly deliver. Alone? I thought it's a clone. Because of the
Right.
Dang it.
That's fine. That's cool.
Should I look at the
Yeah.
can you check the camera again?
Yes. Can you check to make sure that the pipe wasn't in the shot?
I can
Alright, alright.
No, this has to be like 48. Because if you split the sentences too much, I'm just saying words and they don't make sense.
Dude, I was doing it fine. You just had to like anticipate.
I don't know how to anticipate. I'm not an actor. I'm not a player kid.
Oh my god.
Wait. This has to be on the next page. There.
Up into the morn.
Get over there.
Doth with his lofty and shrill sounding throat awake the god of day, and that his warning, whether it's ear fire in his ears, and he's having an hearing spirit highs.
Oh my god. Oh my god. This is all so.
Not to be in character. I just lost my best friend to madness. Alright.
What's even funny? Why are you laughing?
New shot.
Oh my god.
New shot.